Hello gamers and welcome to some more preview content for the upcoming Landjut DLC for WARNO. I've already shown you the Danish divisions, and now we can show you the two new naval divisions as well, the Naval Infantry divisions, the Marine divisions, the 2nd Marine Division and the 336th Brigade Morskoi Pechoty. Let's start with the US boys, uniquely distinct American battle group, US Marine Corps. And there's information on the history. You can read that out and pause YouTube. I won't read it out now. Large 13-man rifle squads. That's obviously really cool. And you get the Tomcat. I think that's like the one from Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. US Marine Corps gunner. So some highlights and then the Tomcat. Let's take a look. With regards to slots, you get okayish logistics slots, very cheap, almost till the end. Infantry slots, decent. 3 cheap artillery slots should be enough, at least for 1v1. Tank slots, as expected, a bit expensive. Recon, very, very cheap and lots of options. AA, mediocre. Helicopters, very decent. And air, decent. So good options, but the slot costs are, it's not super cheap. So let's take a look at the units we find here. As per usual, all those Marine boys have the Resolute trait, so they take less suppression, which is a nice buff. So you get the LAV-L, which is new, as you can see here. You get a supply helicopter for the Marines. Nice artwork here. You get the bigger one with 2000 supply. And you get this. It's unfortunately, well, it's 50 points. It's like this 40-point vehicle. A bit faster, I think. And you get a machine gun. So this is actually quite nice for the early deployment. Then you get the squishy Humvee. You get the LAV-C, also with a medium machine gun on top. And smoke. This one doesn't have smoke. They all swim. And then you get this cargo barge. So no forward supply point, but you get this, which is 10,000 supply. This can be really nice, and it deviates, from the 6,000 supply per card rule, because this is like a hybrid, I think, between supply unit and forward supply point. So for example, this is really cheap because here 6,000 would cost you 195 points, and you get this for 115. If it gets killed, though, it's a problem, but you don't have to bring it in the initial deployment. I think this can be really cool in 1v1 as well. Let's take a look at the infantry. So you get a 50 cal. Nice. And also down here, you get a grenade launcher. They've been nerfed, but I think they are still decent. And I don't know why they are down here and not up here. Then you get the US Marine Corps Leader, which I think is a fantastic unit. I mean, it's 3 men only, but you get smoke, a bit AT, and you get 3 units on the card. So I think this is really cool. Can come in a Humvee, can come in this World War II looking, or World War I actually looking, armored personnel carrier with weapons, 50 cal and grenade launcher. It's quite slow, but I think this is an interesting unit. They can come in a helicopter as well. This helicopter has rockets, so this can be a nice option as well for early deployment. It's 95 points though. Aero riflemen, they come in a helicopter or in the armored, not armored, but armed Sea Knight. So some new units here with the Marines standing here. 8-man strong. AT. I mean, this is now green. It used to be yellow, I think. the coloring, 2 light support weapons, and that can be moved, that can be shot while moving. So this is an interesting unit for sure, to get them into position early on, maybe in the cheap helicopter or in the Sea Knight that can fight as well. Only 10 points more speed, a bit slower, but much more autonomy and also better ECM. So I think this could be an option. Then you get the 6 cards of Rifleman Law. Law ain't great, but you get 3 medium machine guns, 10 assault rifles, 13 men on the card. This is quite beefy and powerful, and they unfortunately only come in a truck. You don't get like IFVs or something. You get the 84 Rifleman with a better AT weapon, and other than that, it's the same loadout, I think. Yeah, 1 unit less per card. And you get different options. You get this option here. So quite nice to get them in this vehicle as well. Then you get a Dragon Rifleman. Also 13 men. Also with this option, like the 84 crew, which I think is it's a really one unit less per card. But I think it's a good take. Then you get the Assault Man. And they have the recoilless roughly. It looks a bit like AA, but it's not. Good penetration here with 6 shots, 4 men only. And this one has demolition, short range. They are loaded with high explosive charges. So the Danish have that as well. They have it too. Good accuracy. So yeah, you need to support it with other units. But if you throw them into the mix, I think this is also maybe together with this beast. I think this is quite a good unit if you keep it alive in particular. Then you get the gunners, 2 cards. They can also come in this beast. So you will get lots of grenade launchers with this division. 7 men, shitty AT rocket, 2 support weapons that can be fired on the move. Yeah. I mean, 5 points more for the Arrow Rifleman, for example. Let's go for the Law Rifleman. Yeah, well, 30 points more, but almost twice the number of troops. Not sure if I would. If it gets tight, I probably wouldn't take the gunners. Then, yeah, like I said, the grenade launcher. Then you get the engineers with shock and grenades, 10 men strong, quite nice, but only in a truck, unfortunately. And then you get engineers leader. It's an interesting unit. It's only 2 per card, but they've got 80. They've got 80, and they are 12 men strong, which is quite nice. So it's a viable option as well, depending on if you want the squishy one or the beefy one. Then you get 3 cards of Chochus, which is really nice. So I think this is a very strong deck. If you even upvet them, and then maybe use a leader to upvet them even further, you're in for a good time. Artillery, you get the 80mm mortar. Then you get an LAV with a mortar and 90 ammunition, which is not quite as much, but still very good. So this is the way to go, I guess. It even has smoke and a machine gun to defend itself, so quite nice. 155mm mortar. Howitzer. And then you get the Catfay, which is basically this World War I beast. But in this case, it's loaded with thermobaric rockets. Limited range, but you can blast the edge of a town and then assault with your troops, or smoke, then blast the thermobaric rockets, and then attack. Then you get this nice mobile howitzer, which is a good unit. You can see why it might be interesting to get this cargo unit. And then you get this massive howitzer, Lots of damage, lots of range. Could be viable together with this. Because it only has 12 ammunition, which is not that much. So you often have to reload or resupply. So quite the interesting options. So you probably take this, probably try out the Catfay, and then one of these, presumably. Or maybe this, depending on what the artillery rework brings. You might take this as well over the mobile one, I don't know. Then tank tab, you get 3 cards of the Humvee tows. They've existed before, so yeah, just different name and stuff. Then the LAV AT, also with Tortu missiles, and it has smoke. It's also super fast. Yeah, it's even faster than the Humvee. Stealth ain't that good, but this is a cool unit. And then you get your tanks with smoke, 17 weapon damage. This one has 23 and era armor. Well, explosive reactive armor, era. So it has 11 health. And this damage output is insanely good. So you need to keep them alive. The range ain't perfect, but this is a really cool tank, I think, if you can make it survive. And then you get the leader variant as well. I guess you probably won't bring a leader. You'll probably bring these for sure. Probably these. Then one AT vehicle, presumably this one. Also because of smoke. And then, yeah, maybe this or the leader, I don't know. Recon tab. US Marine Corps LAV Muse. Very good optics. And this is a SIGINT unit. And it's also a jammer. Downgrades the optic of enemy recon. Unit using radar it prevents GSR and cancels artillery correction. So this is a very cool unit. You get 6 on the card, quite nice. Then you get your snipers. They can come in a variety of vehicles, including a machine gun, Humvee, grenade launcher Humvee, helicopters, including the helicopter rocket helicopters. Then you get the Force Recon, which I think is completely new. Sniper rifle AT, 6-man, commando, quite nice. They come in a Humvee or in helicopters. This could be a good unit to put on the sides of the map. Very good optics. Then you get the US Marine Corps LAI Scouts. They come in a lovely vehicle with autocannon. You get 2 cards of these, and presumably the vehicle makes them a must pick, maybe, because you get a nice vehicle with autocannon and 2 machine guns. This one can even be shot while moving. And you get the US Marine Corps Recon, Humvee options, and then again the helicopter options. Very good AT. So this is also an option to use that on the flanks, this or this. Thinking about it, probably this one, because it's got the better AT, and you get more on the card and it's cheaper. And you get this kind of Jeep, armored Jeep, very good optics. Commando, and you can bring it with a Sea Stallion. So yeah, it's a commando unit as well. And you can bring a scout helicopter that's armored. Sorry, not armored, but armed. I think this is a very interesting option. Very good optics. And then you get a Bronco, a beautiful, I think, new turboprop plane with air-to-ground rockets and air-to-air rockets. So air-to-ground is here, 4, 8, 16, as you can see here, and then you get your 2 air-to-air rockets. This is a very nice unit, good optics good air optics only. But still, and I think there's no. What you're missing is basically GSR. You're missing GSR and exceptional optics. Other than that, this is a fantastic tab, I think. Also, if you have all those units, it will provide lots of radio for your, potentially, for this artillery piece. Okay, AA, nothing much to write home about. You get 3 cards of Stingers. They are good. You get 2 cards of Irehawks. So you're sorted. Maybe you need 3 slots if you bring like 1 card of Stingers, 2 cards of Irehawks, maybe. They're already upvetted once. So this, like, they've got this free upvet. So that's good. Helicopters. The US Marine Corps uses Super Cobras. You get air-to-ground rockets, air-to-air and air-to-ground. Interesting option. Super Cobra AT. 2480. I don't know why this is, yellow. Doesn't make sense to me. And you get 8 of them, which is obviously quite a lot. And then you get Super Cobra with seat, and it even has like anti-radiation missiles, so this is also quite nice. You can pick out enemy radar units without the player being able to deactivate it if you're kind of like sneak the helicopter in. It's not a plane, so bit harder to counter, I guess. Now the ATAP, you get lots of Harriers. You get the rocket variant with air-to-ground rockets, some air-to-air, as per usual. You get a bomber. You get a different bomber with more bombs but less payload, so probably not that good. Less payload per bomb. You get a thermobaric bomb. Could be quite nice. You get 300 cards, so it's probably a bit shite, I guess. It's also cheaper, so this is probably not that good. Then you get A60 intruder planes. They are in one other division, I think, as well this time. Yeah, okay, we see it here. 6th Infantry Light. So you get this napalm sort of bomb. Yeah. Then you get a seed plane that can also shoot with 40% ECM. And then you get the AT version with 30 penetration, which is quite nice. Also, it's a very fast plane, 30% ECM, so better than Napalm 1. And then you get the Tomcats. With Sparrows 4, good range, semi-active radar. They are fire and forget, yeah. So this is really cool. And then you get the AA2 version, which is more expensive. They have 30% ECM. And this one has the Phoenix. 8 damage, 12 kilometer range. You only have 1 card each. And then the Sparrow and this. So 4 cards of this is quite fantastic. So keep this alive and you will rule the skies. You can possibly take this. You possibly take, let's say, this AT plane. And potentially the HE bomber. That looks decent. And then if you have the slots, you can still take seed or more bombers. But you have lots of infantry, so I feel like the AT is the one to go for, and maybe the seed. Yeah, so this is quite the cool division, I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. And let's jump to the Russians. This elite Soviet Naval Infantry division excels at spearheading amphibious assaults on contested shores. Strong Black Death infantry, capable tanks, and potent air support make up the division's offensive firepower on the battlefield. We already see some cool helicopters here. Here you can read the description. Lots of specialized weapons. And the Tupolev bombers, that will be pretty cool. Little spoiler here. So slot-wise, okay-ish. Support slots, like the US Marines, cheap. Infantry. Artillery, very cheap. You can bring a lot. So this could be like a 10v10 division as well. Slot-wise. Okay-ish tank. Temp. With regards to slots. Reckon worse than the US Marine Corps, but still decent. AA is a bit better with regards to slots. Helicopters is much worse, but you can still bring this nice helicopter. And then you get the air tab, which is a bit cheaper, and you get so many great options, as we will see. So let's go through the units. You get this World War II looking supply unit with 500 supply. You get the truck with 1,500. You get this one with 2,000. And you get the Kalmar hovercraft with 10,000. So you also have like a 10,000 supply option, which is pretty damn cool. And then you get the helicopter option with 1,500 as well. So basically like this one. It's a bit more expensive, I guess, because it's airborne. Also like a new helicopter, I think. Very nice. Looks very maritime, holiday-like in a way. Then you get the Velosaur. It's squishy. And then you get the 2 cards of Chaika as well, which is good. You can't fight. You get 3 on the card, but 105 points. It's quite fast. So not bad. Can also swim. Also, this is all resolute because it's a Naval Infantry division. Here you get the Descent motorized whatever, Peckham. And you get some airborne units here. This is quite interesting. So you can really forward deploy them. You also get the grenade launcher here. Then you get the motorized Superior Comrati. Another new unit here with AT, shock, 4 men only. And the basically IFV you get is the BTR, which is quite nice because it's wheeled, it's fast, but you have no autocannon, it's just machine guns. And you get motorized Superi, 5 men only. And then the RPO with incendiary rocket launcher, also only 5 men. So not too great, I think. Here you get for a 4-man unit to kill tanks, 21 penetration, and you get 12 shells. So this is quite nice. But again, you need to mix it with other units. You get the motorized Pechota Komroti in a BTR 60 or in a BTR 80, which has better armor. As you can see, also more health. So probably the better option for just 5 points more if you go for that unit. And yeah, they are 5-man. They've got E-Glass, which is nice, and Smoke. So I think this is an interesting leader. You get 4 cards. Reservist unit here also in the BTR. Okay-ish, 7-man squad with cool uniforms. And you get the motorized. And they are not disheartened. No, well, or they don't have the reservist trait. They're called res, but they don't have the reservist trait. But they're not resolute either. Then you get the RPG 22, so yeah, not too great, but 9-man strong, quite nice. And they come also in the better BTR. 1 card. In the Morskaya Pechota 3 cards, you get good AT capabilities, 9-man, shitty BTR, the shittier one. So this is like could be one of your core units here, or is your core unit. Motorized Pechota SVT is 10 men strong, so one more. But they lose AT. Why are they? One more man, where's that? Maybe this is still work in progress. Well, everything is obviously work in progress, but I don't see. So the AT guy has a weapon. He's the same one. So this is like 8, and then we've got the light support weapon guy, which is this one. So that makes it 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. And here we've got the light support. The sniper dude is here. But if I see it correctly, he also carries... No, he does not. He carries something else here. That's what they all carry. Is that like, what's that supposed to be? I don't know. It's on the belt. Is there like a baton to... I don't know what that is. Let me know in the comments if you know what that is. That piece of equipment. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, obviously it's then 10 because the sniper dude doesn't have a rifle. Okay. I personally prefer AT over sniper rifles. And then you get the PTS. They've got both sniper rifle, AT. They are also 14 men, which is nice. Obviously, it's now only one card because this seems to be a super good unit. And they can come in this thing, PTSM. It is slower. It is not armored, but it is amphibious. So maybe for some fun moves on certain maps. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, it's cheaper. It's also slower, but that could be a reason to take this beast. So we get the tank gun here with the like a recoilless rifle sort of thing. You get the forward deployed version for just 5 points more, and that might be worth it. Other than that, it's the same. And you get the Descent Fagot. It's not the greatest AT, but still forward deployed. You get the Concourse, not forward deployed. You get the Descent Motorized Comrotti with AT, Smoke, 6 men, Shock, forward deployed in this vintage looking truck. You get the forward deployed reservist Descent Motorized Pechota, so like these, but forward deployed. This costs, and the forward deployment costs you, other than that, it's the same. It's also 11 more men. Okay, I see. So different setup. And also you get the shock trade, so that's quite nice. The Descent Motorized Pechota. There's no Descent here. Shock. Forward deployed, resolute, 9 men, quite nice, shitty truck. And then you get something very special, you get the Spetsnaz. They've got commando, shock, forward deployed. They only come in a truck, but 12 men, you can like upweight them even further. Incendiary, medium machine gun, they can shoot this while moving. It's obviously more like a CQC unit in forests and such. So quite nice, maybe pair that with this one, then you can fight tanks as well. So a really good temp as well. Artillery, you get motorized grenade launcher, 80 mil. You get the mortar. And then you get this forward deployed. 3 cards of this. It can be used as a tank gun as well, quite a decent tank gun. but armor is obviously bad. The Gvozdika, the bigger version basically. And then, but HE only 2.2, this one also only 2.2, and then you get a Grad. So while this is a cheap tab, I don't think the options are too great in my opinion. Maybe if you spam them, you can't really spam that many points unless it's 10v10. Tank tab, 2 cards of Conquerors, BRDMs, nice. The Rapira and an MTLB. So this with the machine gun, so you can keep it. And I think the Rapira is actually quite nice with the tank gun and also the anti-tank missile. I think this is pretty good. Good stealth. Can be super annoying to deal with when you start flanking your opponent. Then you get new tanks. So this is smoke and so on. This is not too great. Not too great a tank. When you get this, you get the AT missile, which is nice. The AMV does have shittier front armor, but has era instead. So yeah, you need to decide what you prefer. And then this is pretty cool. You have you have active protection against ATGMs. So this can be really helpful. So the tanks are, I think you have more tanks than the Americans, but I think the American tanks are better. In particular, you know, those glass cannon tanks. Rack and tab, you get the rheostat, get the BRDM, 2 cards. You get the PT768. Yeah, they're all new. I think they're not new, but you know, they've got the Resolute now, so that's what makes them new down here. And you get the motorized Razvedka in the MAV. That's a cool vehicle. And Mi-2T, but there are no like helicopters with rockets or anything like that. Then you get this unit, Descent Motorized Razvedka, which is, I think, a really cool unit. Short range sniper rifle, which is good, same range here, which is good. AT capabilities could be good on the flanks early on, you know, with the airborne trait. And here you do have a GSR unit. That's what the Americans are missing. And here you also get your rocket helicopter, which is nice. So that's maybe a good combination. You do get this lovely Recon helicopter, and you get a Recon tank, which also has the active protection system. And AT, other than that, those stats here, armor and tank gun, are underwhelming. AA tab, motorized D-glass, quite a lot of them. Descent motorized D-glass, 5 points more, but forward deployed is worth it if you bring them in the initial deployment, otherwise it's not. And this 20 sort of mil, yeah. Miryusa with radar, not the greatest range. And the Strela, also not the greatest range. So your AA, while you get decent slots, it's I think actually worse than the American AA with the iHawks. Helicopters, you only get this one, but this is a beauty of Soviet engineering. As you can see, work in progress. You do get anti-ground rockets and anti-tank missiles. 25, you get the Attacker. So this is cool. You get 3 of them, you can bring them all. Probably you bring 2, I guess. Maybe all 3, because this is one of your ways to kill tanks. And now the interesting AA tab, air tab. This is your first AA plane, MiG-21 SMT. Only these two rockets go against helicopters, so this is not the greatest AA plane, to be honest. But you get two more. You get this one with decent range against aircraft, 4 rockets against normal planes. And then you get the AA2 version with a different, but they're already known, but with a different loadout here. As you can see, you get MR instead of, wait, let's click on this and then this. You get MR instead of R, which gives you more accuracy. And you get less and a different type of rockets. So 2 rockets with 65% instead of, or missiles instead of 4 with 55. Yeah. Bit more range against aircraft, so it's your choice. And you get lots of SUs that are already known. Rocket, cluster, and HE. Then you get more Su-24s with napalm, clusters, heavy bombs, and an LGB bomber as well. That's very rare, 119th only. Then you get Seed, which is cool, 60% ECM as well, but no electronic warfare or anything like that. And then you get the Tupolev electronic warfare plane, 1000 kilometers per hour, exceptional air optics, and it does have Seed and electronic warfare. So it decreases enemy radars, powerful electronic countermeasures. Enemy radar is disrupted and they lose 20%, yeah. So it's against enemy radar. And you can also better spot enemy radar. And then you can bring this as well, which also has 40% ECM. You can drop the proper bombs with this. So this and this is a really nice combo. You probably don't even need the seed plane. You could bring it as well. And you would bring AA. Theoretically more than one. Then it gets expensive. Maybe like this. You can maybe ditch this seed plane, but yeah, maybe like this. And then the LGB would be good. And then you already spent 11 points. Yeah, I don't know. I think it will be a bit tricky to build because you have some shitty tabs like, well, not so great tabs like artillery, I think. Recon is decent. AA is not great. You won't fill all the slots, I guess. And then you rather spend them into an expensive plane here in the 3-point slot here, I think, given the good options you get. Let me know in the comments what you think of this division. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Until then, bye for now.